new iPhone and Mac OSes, widgets, and abusing iPhones. This is MacVoices. This edition of MacVoices is brought to you by the MacVoices Slack, available to all patrons of MacVoices. Sign up today at patreon.com/MacVoices. Welcome to MacVoices. This is the talk of the Apple community, and I'm Chuck Joyner. Folks, this is MacVoices Live. It's Tuesday night. We are on YouTube at youtube.com/MacVoicesTV. I'm a little thrown off because the crew did not interrupt my introduction for once, and so I just went with it. I'm kind of impressed that I actually did it. So we'd love to have you join us in the chat room. We have a bunch of our friends there now, and hopefully more are coming all the time. And as always, they just kind of bounce in and out. That's what we do here. A lot of us have new gear this Tuesday. In fact, when I went to plug in my iPhone to use as my camera, I discovered that I needed a USB-C cable because I was still trying to use the Lightning cable. So it shows you just how new everything is. So we're going to go around the room, let you see who's here, and then dig into some of the new gear along with a bunch of other interesting things. First up, as usual, in the top left of my screen, but not yours, Mr. David Ginsburg. David, good to have you.
Good to be here. Good to see everybody this week. And happy new device day. It's going to be a lot of fun to talk about all our new stuff.
Happy new device day. I like that. I think we'll make that a national holiday.
Yeah, it needs to be.
I like it. Jim Ray is here. I'm not quite sure where Jim is today with that background, but he's here now with us, so it's good to have you, Jim. Thank you.
That's my backyard.
Oh, okay. Your backyard keeps evolving.
That picture is from like 3 years ago.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't. No, never mind. Eric Bolden is here too.
He's in the woods.
Eric, you're still in the woods.
I got lost. Don't want to ask for directions. Maybe one day I'll escape.
Either that or you're just, looking to go to the woods and write a manifesto. No, please don't. Please don't. Mark Fuccio is here. He's been waiting all this time, and now he can say he's on Mac OS Sonoma. Mark, it's great to have you.
Yes, thank you. And I have the official Sonoma desktop as the background, and this will end my series of Sonoma images dating back to, I don't know, late June, early July. Every time I'm on the show.
You've been doing this for a while. Some of us recognize some of them, some of us didn't, but now you have an official one. So what's the next series going to be? Do you have any ideas?
We have to see what Apple introduces next year, for their next OS.
Ah, okay.
But otherwise, I tried to make backgrounds topical. And yes, everyone, I have updated today to Sonoma, as well as we had dot releases, and I updated my phone and my iPad. So I am
brave man.
Front of, and I think my HomePods and EarPods have updated themselves as well. So I think I'm current on the OS front.
Good deal. Well, you're farther ahead than I am. But Ben Rathig apparently has been ahead of us all because he's been running Sonoma betas for, I don't know, how long, Ben?
Since the beginning.
Since the beginning. Okay, so you may have Sonoma seniority.
Yes.
If that's a thing, I don't know. Good to have you.
Yeah, it's good to have you. And I got your USB-C cable here, Chuck.
No, well, thank you, Ben. It better be a long one.
It's like a USB-A.
And I do have to say, Mark, I look forward to your backgrounds for the upcoming Mac OS Death Valley.
Okay, well, there's plenty of desert shots out there.
Last but absolutely not least, we haven't seen her for just a little while, Ms. Kelly Gamot. Kelly, welcome.
I was over here waiting for my phone, and really excited about the Sonoma release because it's wine country, and now everyone else will get to drink over Mac OS the way we do. Yay!
Did we need a reason, Kelly?
Some people did.
Okay.
Not everyone has to do this in a professional capacity, so not everybody has quite as many reasons as my presumption.
Okay. Good point. Well, so Mark is on Sonoma. Ben is on Sonoma. Anybody else on Sonoma?
Not my primary device, but a number of other devices I upgraded today.
Okay. Is anybody specifically holding back, or were you? Well, I'm specifically holding back, so I won't say just like me. Kelly, you're specifically holding back?
Yes. I will never install a .0 ever, 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 ever. Because at least at this point, I don't. If it goes horribly wrong, I can't afford the downtime, so I don't have a better option. So I always at least wait for .0.1. Give it a couple of days. Like, it used to be a lot longer, but now with social media and people, it's a lot easier to find out kind of how it's going in general for people. So I don't have to give it all that time. I gave it a couple of days and make sure there's not something really serious that I need to worry about. So plus I'm still kind of in the midst of making sure that everything went okay with migrating to my new phone. So I can let my computers chill out for a day or two before I go pull the trigger on a new OS.
Yeah. Let's see. Eric, I'm a little surprised. You're not running Sonoma?
On two of my machines.
Okay.
Two of them I haven't upgraded yet because I use a package manager to install things and it's not available yet. I have to wait. But the machine I'm talking on right now is Sonoma.
Oh, it is? Oh, okay. Okay. All right. Well, I'm specifically holding off for a couple reasons. I'm like Kelly. I'm not sure I'll wait to a 0.1 necessarily, but I definitely going to wait at least a few days. But Larry Jordan in his newsletter this week said that the new version of Final Cut, I guess the one that is Sonoma compatible, has a bug in it that breaks a lot of the plugins from a major plugin manufacturer for Final Cut. And so it's like, okay, I use a bunch of those plugins, so I'm holding off on my production machine. I may upgrade one of the secondary machines, but at some point, I'm still able to get work done. So that's the most important thing. Any surprises, any issues or anything that jumps out at you that you really love for those of you that did the upgrade?
How not different it is.
Okay.
To be honest, with the exception of the enhance, a lot of the stuff with Sonoma is going to be under the hood, not in the interface, with the exception of the interactive widgets, which are now pretty much my entire desktop. But
I am unsurprised.
Well, yeah, Ben, you had put that in our private Slack, and I'm kind of curious because I haven't paid that much attention to the interactive widgets, and I think Mark chimed in as well that he was into them. What is so great about these interactive widgets?
Basically, if instead of launching the full app, if there's just like one minor repetitive task you have to keep doing, I can just do it from the desktop instead of going into the app. It basically iOSifies my Mac.
Because it's the same thing with iOS 17, right? Like you can actually do stuff in the widgets and not just look at stuff in the widgets.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what's the good part?
For instance, not being able to play music without going into the terrible Apple Music app on the Mac, or podcast, or look at whatever new mail I have, or the news, or a bunch of other things.
I do like the mail widget finally gives you, like, that's all I ever wanted out of the mail widget was that's obviously a message I don't mean, or I don't need, or I need to reply to that right away, and I can hit it right from the widget and then do what I need to do, which will take me to mail. But the most common example I use is like the weather widget. There are different pieces of atmospheric information that people want all the time. Being able to pick and choose what those are. Like a thing that can be important to some people is sunrise or sunset, or if it's going to rain today and not just the temperature. And you can add air quality if it's smoke season where you are, and you can adjust those as you need without having to go all the way over to the weather app and get it and come back. And I know there's ways to do that in the menu bar, but like natively from Mac OS and natively from iOS, there isn't an easy way to do that. And that's one of the great things about widgets that I really like, is being able to have some of that stuff, on the lock screen or on the desktop. I mean, I felt like I was the only person who was sad when they finally got rid of the little dashboard full of widgets after like Snow Leopard, maybe. Like it was a billion years ago. Like I want to say like Tiger was the last time they were like anybody cared about updating them or something. But I always really liked them because I liked having that little heads up display of a bunch of little bits of information. And now everybody does, and now everybody thinks they're great. So I'm glad, because I want to know how many more we're going to get and what kind of creative uses people are going to have for them. I know the pCalc Dice by pCalc widget lets you roll dice in a widget, which is also amazing. That makes me very happy.
Yeah, and the best part about it is there's widget compatibility across the board. Yeah. So you can bring all the great widgets created for iOS and iPadOS right over to the Mac.
Yeah, it's great.
Which
Mark,
I have done.
Mark, how about you? How are you? Since you were also one of the enthusiasts.
Oh no, I was interested in hearing what Ben was saying and why he was so pleased, and leading to the point of saying he might buy another monitor just for placing his widgets. So I think he's given us a little bit of flavor of that. But I'm sure back in July or August, when all the sites were talking about all the Mac OS Sonoma features, they talked about how you create widgets. I either didn't read them or forgot about them. But Ben, how does one go about creating, say, a widget for Safari or Mail or some other app?
It's the same interface from iOS and iPadOS. You just right click on the desktop and go to Edit Widgets. Then all your standard Apple widgets will be right there.
Okay, I'm doing that.
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to do custom,
I did buy another monitor for my widgets. It's right here. I keep it here, and I see it a lot more often than I see my Mac desktop, which I basically only see when I reboot every 42 days or so.
Yeah, well, that monitor is currently being used as the camera.
Yeah, that's a problem. Yeah. Eric, you mentioned that. Oh, I'm sorry, Jim. Go ahead.
I was saying I do have an iPad right here too.
Of course you do. Eric, you said though, you mentioned the being able to see through them, to making the desktop visible behind you. Is that a big thing?
It's driving me nuts. Because I randomly click my mouse button to like keep the computer awake, and move the mouse around and click, and every time I click, everything zooms off, and then I click again and it zooms back, and it zooms off and it zooms back, and I had a bit of that, and you can turn it off. Yeah, what is it called?
How? It's driving
you
me
can
nuts.
also adjust how often your computer goes to sleep too.
It's in system settings, desktop, and dock. It's under desktop and stage manager. What is it called? Click wallpaper to reveal desktop. I said only in stage manager, and then I turned off stage manager. So
okay, got it. I just did the same thing. Okay, good.
Yes. Now I do have one machine that has gazillions of windows open all the time there, and I don't use it very often. That one, I'll leave it on because that could be useful. But my normal work machine, I put things open all over the place, and I need them to stay there.
That's interesting. I'm sitting here trying to decide whether I think that would be a good idea for me. So now I'm anxious to find out, because I can see some definite advantages to having it click the desktop and letting everything zoom out. But I also see some real disadvantages too, like you said. So, interesting. I want to welcome Brian Flanagan Arthurs to the show. He had a meeting, and so he dashed in with his tie intact just to join us. Brian, good to have you.
Thank you. Hope everyone's having a great day.
So far. So the question is, are you on Sonoma or not?
Not yet, but looking forward to it right after this meeting. I didn't want to goof anything up.
Got it. Good. Anything else? I mean, I don't want to play Sonoma down too far, but we have a bunch of other things to talk about. So anything Sonoma once, twice?
Yeah. The whole about.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I have an idea we'll be talking about this a lot as we go forward and play with it more. So the new iPhones are here. Who got a new iPhone? Okay. Okay, three of us.
Know, yeah, I was gonna say we know about yours. We saw it unboxed on the Mac show, Chuck.
Well, yeah, that's true. Yeah. I have to say that, I've sort of what was said here about Sonoma. There's a lot of sameness going on. But there are also some nice little features. And of course, the other weird thing that happens is that we get the new version of the iOS about the same time we get the phone. And so you feel like one goes hand in glove with the other.
Yeah.
But that said, I'm the only thing, I did see a couple articles about the phones getting hot. And I've noticed that, not ridiculously scorching hot, but mine has gotten warm. But I also know they say that a lot of that, along with battery life, is the indexing of photos and the indexing of everything else. So that's the only, David, that's the only issue I could, if you can call that an issue. And it's just, to me, it's just a break-in kind of thing.
Well, the battery life, I definitely noticed it right off the bat at the beginning. But again, like you said, it was indexing, because the first day I was like, why the heck is my battery going down to 30%? And I barely used it. So, and it and a lot of it is because they do turn on background app refresh, which annoys me. I don't like to turn off things I don't want running. So that was probably the biggest thing that was hitting the battery. But after a few days now, we've had it almost so we got a Friday, so we've had it about 4 days. It seems it's settled down a little bit. But as far as battery life goes,
I'm glad you reminded me about background app refresh. I completely forgot about that, and that may
I did too.
been affecting mine. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Kelly.
Well, so I migrated and then left town, but it seems like I had some weird rough edges around migrating. It was the take the picture of your old phone with your new phone and let them hang out next to each other, and then it's all sort of done. And for about 24 hours, I would get text messages to my watch, but they would never show up on my phone, which was very weird. And even still, half my HomePods have forsaken me. When I talk to them, they go, your phone's not on the network,
Huh?
Who are you? And it's weird. And I've tried a couple of things so far. I'm now up to my friend Jamie's suggestion. Hi, Jamie. I'm in the process of preparing the sacrificial goat to see if that will help, because the chanting didn't work. And standing on one foot while I unplugged them and plugged them back in didn't seem to make a difference. So we'll see if that helps. But it's only some of them, and they all updated, and everything was fine. And I told them all to restart when they started having trouble. But the problem is, like you said, because we get new iOS and we get new software and new hardware kind of at the same time. I don't know if it's mad that I went to 17. Or if it's mad that I actually do have new hardware. But other than that, I haven't really had an issue with it, but it's just been a couple of little weird, funny things. And so I'm honestly still in the phase of maybe I just obliterate the new one and go run the migration again because it's not like it's only been a couple of days, so it's not like they're all that different. So I'm still debating like today or tomorrow. If I was going to do that, then I would probably do it today or tomorrow. But it's been sort of odd, and usually it's really smooth. So that was the reason it was sort of weird to me, because like the HomePods were fine and all of that. And I went around the house, turned everything on, updated all the Apple TVs, and they're all okay now too, with iOS, and got all that stuff updated, and everything else seems to be working together. But I've got like some of these HomePods that just have shunned me. Mine did get warm for about 24 hours, but then it sort of chilled out. So I think it must have just been like spotlight indexing and all that stuff. So,
Kelly, when you mentioned the migration thing, did you did install 17.0.2 before?
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
you had to.
Yeah, it wouldn't let me if I.
Oh, right. I remember seeing, that's an interesting point. I remember seeing it prompt me, and I knew about it already, so I was looking for it. I didn't know if it would just completely block you or not.
Yeah, it basically stops and goes, "Hi, there's a new update. You want to run it, don't you?" With the little Jedi hand wave, and then you don't have a choice.
Okay.
Yes, 17.0 is not the OS you're looking for.
I saw one other report that I thought was interesting, that I guess some YouTube influencer, and I'm tempted to make fun of them a little bit, going through ruggedness tests of taking a box cutter and running it over this and running it over that. And then they decided to try to flex the darn thing. And guess what? It broke. And they seem to be very surprised. And okay, yeah, I guess I would have been surprised too. But why would you do this to a brand new iPhone other than just to try to get views?
Is this the same YouTuber that said you could upgrade your phone with a headphone jack and took a drill to the bottom, and then people were mad because they tried it and it voided their warranty? Or is this a different person?
I don't know, Kelly. I think it's a different one. I think this is one of those that, because listen, as soon as these things hit the street, you see drop tests and all kind of durability tests and everything, and they're very unscientific. It's all just a visual clickbait kind of thing. But I do think that it's an interesting discussion to have, or a point to be made, given that this is a new titanium frame, and whether that makes a difference in the rigidity or the fragility, if you will. So,
yes, because it means they either have to try either not quite as hard or really, really hard in order to destroy $1,000 worth of technology live on the internet. They were going to do it either way.
Yeah.
And I guess I did not see this widely reported. I just saw this on one or two places, and so that's why I sort of wrote it off. But I thought it is worth mentioning. Anybody else see this or have any thoughts on it at all?
I think yes. I mean, there's people out there who will try to do things like this to grab attention. They're not like iFixit, who rigorously does teardowns of iPhones and iPads and Macs and Android devices and other things. They have a right to repair agenda that they promote. But there's all sorts of other things. I mean, there used to be back in the day that site called Will It Blend, and it's these guys who had made commercial blenders, and they take all sorts of stuff. And yes, they even blended a number of generations of iPhones of turning into fine black powder. So I'm not surprised that people are taking a phone and trying to bend it, to see how far it goes before it breaks. And if their site is big enough, they get more. They can get potentially more revenue from YouTube, by views, to offset the cost of the phone that they trashed, and then some.
Yeah.
Okay, let's just be clear. You will not see us bending any iPhones here with the, just to see if they break or not. That's not going to happen.
Yeah. Yes. In fact, I like to take it the exact other way and show everybody that because I put it in a case and don't treat it like crap, my 3-year-old 12 Pro Max is still in pretty much perfect condition.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Brian, you just brought up something. I'll let you say in our private chat, because you're right. I forgot about that.
I was trying to figure out who it was. I'm trying to find the article, but there was somebody who bought a original iPhone sealed, I believe for $40,000, unboxed it live on YouTube, and I think they more than made their money back. I'm assuming through ads, maybe some subscriptions on YouTube, that type of thing. Just trying to find the link for it.
I think that's Marquez Brownlee, who's huge, and he has like, I don't know, 15 million views on his, on a lot. I don't want to views in millions.
He's got 17 million subscribers. Let's put it that way.
Yes,
that's it.
He was name checked in the Wanderlust event for like if you're wondering like who is that guy? He's that guy. Yeah, he's on that level.
And rightfully so, because he makes excellent content.
He really
does. He really does.
Make no mistake, he absolutely earns all of that. But yeah.
I don't know. I have a problem with that. But anyway.
Well, he didn't open it up and put it in a blender. I mean, he's got that going for him.
Good point, Kelly. Good point. So again, the new phone and iOS 17 sort of cross over and get blended. There we go. Just in keeping with the theme. So I have to say, I love a new iPhone feature that sort of gets in my way or pops up. It's completely intuitive that I sort of remembered reading about, but had forgotten about. And the visual voicemail is one of those that, just very shortly after I got my iPhone all set up and ready to go, I got a call. It was a number I didn't recognize, and I was watching it transcribe live. And that is such a nice feature. Yeah. One that's going to, it's going to help us all, I think, not have to call people back, but also recognize spammers and say, I'm not going to bother.
So Chuck, was your call a spammer, or was it, some associate whose name you didn't recognize off the top of your head?
It actually was, it was a legitimate call. It was from a medical provider. Mm-hmm. That was not in my contacts, but it was a legitimate, need to talk to. So, which even did better because you know how some of that is, call back. It doesn't matter if you call back in 10 seconds. You're either in a queue or you're waiting for the person that called you. Mm-hmm. So, it definitely worked.
So on that, the ability that
I love.
If it's still, I'm curious.
I think Brittany is going to brave it again. Uh-oh.
Say hi, everyone.
No audio
for a couple seconds.
I was just going to wait and see if you freeze and then talk. I think Comcast said they reset something. I figured it was worth a try.
Yeah, you never know.
We have no audio. Brittany Smith is here on mute, and she can't get herself off mute.
I hear her. Yeah.
So
she sounds fine here.
Just Chuck.
Did Brett
so I can say
Chuck?
Anything about Chuck that I want to. Perfect.
Yeah. Now's your chance.
we can hear her if you can hear us.
Okay, I think I have to apologize. I must be the one that has that. I think I've lost all your audio.
Oh, Comcast infected Chuck.
Now all of us can talk smack about Chuck.
Underpants.
Carry on with the show, somebody. I'll check my audio.
Start singing Underpants.
I think I broke Chuck.
Yes. Yes. Now the stream has become like the FineWoven cases.
Yeah, I did not buy the FineWoven case, and there's been
I did not.
Lots of press about how a lot of fingerprints on them and hard to keep them clean, and that's like right off the bat. So and even the Verge said that they're garbage basically.
Maybe you need a case for your case.
Yeah, the case needs a case.
It's not the only case in town. This is the part that baffles me. People are so worked up about this. And I'm like, go type iPhone 15 case into the search engine of your choice. And you will find, and this is only an approximate number, 11 billion of them.
Here, I'm trying this one. I got this one on the phone this week. It's actually good. The Catalyst.
I've got 2 on spec right now. I'm using one. I'm going to try the other. It's clear and MagSafe, and everything is titanium, which makes me very happy. But I'm still a dropper kicker thrower, and I don't want it to get messed up. So, I took it out to show it off to y'all tonight, but I'm team clear MagSafe case. So I've got one of these and there's another one over there. And that tends to be what I put on them because I have a magnetic vent thing in the car that I like to use. Mostly just to hold it up so I have a consistent place where my phone lives more than, actual like charging magic or anything like that. So that's like when the FineWoven cases came out, I was like, well, what if, and stay with me here, you buy a different one?
Whoa.
Right? You don't have to have one. Like, there are so many companies out there that make amazing cases, and you could have something else on the back of your phone. You could have a clear case. You could have like my 12 Pro had. You could have a clear case with glitter. You can have Hello Kitty. You can have Star Wars. I'm sure there are other things out there that that you can get on a phone case. I don't know.
It's clear. It's clear.
Yeah.
See?
It still has the Apple logo.
Yeah. So Kelly, what?
Yes.
Wait a minute. I can have like the $20 ESR case that I've had on my iPhone 12 Pro Max for 2.5 years.
Do you know why I know that? That's what this one is. This is the ESR Halo Lock case. That's what I've got in my hand right now. That's the one that's on my phone this second. So it's great. I have that one and a Smartish because I love Smartish cases. And I have the Smartish one too. And I'm just going to see which one I like better. And they were not expensive. So it was fine. Like, I bought a clear MagSafe case. Apple never had one. And now I can. And I moved on with my life. And so if you don't care about the FineWoven cases, you don't have to.
Next time on Mac Voices, the panel continues the FineWoven discussion, discusses standby, and debates the apparent different levels of excitement for iPhone 15 from different audiences. I'm Chuck Joyner. I'll see you right back here on Mac Voices. Thanks for watching. Visit MacVoices.com for show notes and to connect with Chuck on social media. Get involved in our Facebook group or like our Facebook page, and get more out of your Apple tech with Mac Voices Magazine, free on Flipboard and on the web. And if you find value in it all, consider supporting us through either our Patreon campaign at patreon.com/MacVoices or by making a one-time donation via the PayPal link on our front page and in the show notes of each episode. You will join these fine people who help bring you Mac Voices. Advertising handled by Backbeat Media at backbeatmedia.com. Bandwidth provided by CacheFly at cachefly.com.